Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a special episode today, and it is Anzu that would actually be the dinosaur that we're going to be talking about. Now, since Anzu is a newly discovered dinosaur, so this is actually a brand new species that I'm actually going to be talking about here. It is actually found here in North America. It is actually found in rocks that actually date back to the late Cretaceous period, around the Hell Creek Formation, which has specimen have fossils of Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, Troodon, Dromaeosaurus, you name it. And the size of this thing is 11 feet long, approximately maybe weighed over 500 pounds, and for the diet, it's probably going to be omnivorous, which is basically eats both plants and meat. So I would think it would actually probably just be omnivorous, because if you look at other oviraptorids that have actually been discovered, most of them have been found in Asia, like in Mongolia and China, those kinds of places, like the original oviraptor, which is considered to be omnivorous. And since the oviraptorids are pretty much going to be like, because since they actually have the same behavior as modern birds, and since they brood their nests, which means they take care of the eggs and also kind of sit on the eggs, kind of to incubate them, and since that they don't really have that much of teeth, because since they're actually kind of in that stage where they're almost becoming like birds, but they're just not totally there yet. And since Anzu is considered to possibly be the largest oviraptorid ever found, but since there are closer relatives to oviraptorids, like Megaraptor, that's I don't think it was Megaraptor. I think it probably might. I'm thinking of another Gigantoraptor. Gigantoraptor. That's what I was thinking of. Gigantoraptor is closely related to the oviraptorids, and there's a dinosaur that I just can't remember the name. I did an episode about this dinosaur. I just can't remember the name. But it was considered to be a close relative of an oviraptorid, considering it has the crest on the head and also has sort of like a beak. And since that, it's actually in the late Cretaceous that it was actually found. It actually gives a really good indication of how much of a diversity of dinosaurs that were actually around at the end of the age of dinosaurs, around 65.6 million years ago. And considering that this animal probably was not going to be much of a threat to, like, say, other dinosaurs that were actually in the area. Considering that it's omnivorous, it's not really going to be after like a certain type of prey that it was actually going to be going after, but I think it would probably be looking for probably like small mammals and probably reptiles, maybe a few hatchlings along the way for predatory prey. And since that there's so many plants available that it can actually eat, so it can actually it can actually eat seeds, it can actually eat soft leaves if it needed to. And since that, it's probably going to defend itself just basically by outrunning predators, basically just using its legs to outrun the predator as quickly as it can, and also as further away from the predator as it can. And since it does have very sharp claws on its hand, it could actually defend itself that way. But you see, it's got to be very careful of how it uses its claws, because see, they're kind of like dromaeosaurs. And considering that dromaeosaurs have very fragile bones, very hollow, and also they're very delicate skeleton, oviraptors are pretty much kind of actually a little bit more sturdy than dromaeosaurs, considering that they actually don't have as much of a delicate skeleton as them, but it's still delicate, meaning it's still fragile. considering of its body shape and also the skeletal design. And since I haven't seen that much of pictures of the skeleton, because since it's probably not out in display in a museum yet, and also they only have like artist renderings of the skeleton. So some artists probably took a look at the skeleton and actually draw bone by bone to actually see what it possibly could have looked like as a skeleton. And since this dinosaur is actually, since Anzu was almost found nearly complete, so it was a very rare find to find something that is really, really hard to find in paleontology, a complete skeleton. A nearly complete skeleton. I think by percentage-wise, I think it was actually like between 80 and 90% complete, which is outstandingly rare. Because since that complete skeletons are so rare, all we find of like fossilized bones are pretty much like just like some certain pieces of the bones, or otherwise we find like a complete bone, but it's been separated away from the entire skeleton. Because see, fossilization is actually a very tricky process, and we still don't understand how fossilization works. You know, I mean, we have all sorts of theories of how fossilization would have happened and also occurred. It's just it just depends on what type of environment the fossil is actually buried and also become a fossil. So it's a very tricky process. And since that Anzu did live at the end of the Cretaceous, it did actually witness one of the most cataclysmic events in Earth's history was the extinction of the dinosaurs when a meteorite hit the Gulf of Mexico. When a giant meteor hit the Gulf of Mexico, right where the Yucatan Peninsula is, and actually causing like huge amounts of events that would actually like just change the environment completely, and also would have actually just like totally just destroy the plants and also some of the animals that would actually be in the way of the shock wave, and also the debris that would have actually come out of the meteorite impact. And so it would actually just be a cataclysmic event. And so since this is probably rare dinosaurs, probably still more to come of what we can actually find out about the species of dinosaur, and hopefully can find some new insight of possibly what it would look like. We probably think it probably might have feathers, and we have found oviraptorid relatives that actually did have feathers on their body, considering with especially fossils found in China, which were the volcanic ash beds of the probably around the mid-Cretaceous period. So it was actually probably very feathery. It probably would have been weird looking in terms of what we would consider a normal bird would be, but hey, it's still a great dinosaur. Alright, that's it for now, and now next week will actually be an answering questions episode, and since that and also next week, in this coming week, is Velociraptor Awareness Week, considering that it's a made-up week, and since the geology club is actually here and we're in college that I'm at, is actually kind of celebrating it, and I get to do a presentation about velociraptors, so I think that's pretty cool. And so if you have a question about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, and also could include velociraptor, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or otherwise you can actually post your questions on the comment section on a Facebook post that I will actually put up on the Facebook fan page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. And also you can follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. And that's my Twitter page, and I post some pretty cool stuff on there. And also take care of the people around you. And also for you younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation you can have a good education. It's very important to have a good education, because with a good education, you get a good job in the future. Alright, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.